Joining me now is the Heritage Foundation's retired Lieutenant Colonel Dakota Wood. Colonel, good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Your reaction to his speech today?
It's great to be with you. Well, I'll tell you, Trump is Trump. So he is a plain-spoken man. He makes a compelling argument. It's all based on fact. This is stuff that's been reported ad nauseum with theft of intellectual property by China, support to terrorism by Iran, the horrible Maduro regime in Venezuela that's plummeted that country into the abyss. So the world really isn't used to somebody who is so plain-spoken, and I find it refreshing.
He said that open border policies are, quote, evil. Can you explain that?
Well, if you allow unfettered, unfiltered migration, people coming to America, because all that America represents and offers, it opens the door for human trafficking and for movement of people with small children across thousands of miles. So it's better to help people improve their lives where they live rather than taking these very dangerous journeys coming to the United States in violation of U.S. law. So I think that's really what he's getting at. Good intentions are actually causing harm to the very people that those folks are wanting to actually help.
Germany, Britain, and France blame Iran for the Saudi oil attacks. Even John Kerry saying Iran was behind the attacks. It looks like Iran's support at the UN is evaporating. Watch General Jack Keane, who was with us last night, on what could happen next. Watch this.
Well, I think a military retaliation is very appropriate here because, as I said, the Iranians are escalating kinetic attacks, and no amount of sanctions is going to stop that.
Escalating kinetic attacks. Your reaction?
Well, that's true. So to see the foot-dragging European partners who really are trying to avoid conflict, just as the United States is, actually coming on board and pointing the finger to Iran says that the evidence is overwhelming. So I think, again, another fact on the table and pointing to Iran for the sort of activities it's been engaged in. I still think it's premature for the United States to unilaterally conduct a strike. The Saudis really need to figure out what they want to do with this because it was their country attacked, but the United States stands ready to assure the free flow of oil from the region and stand by partners in that neck of the woods.
You know, Colonel, the reports are coming in that Iran is cornered, that it's running out of money, that's why it's escalating its attacks. And here's the thing: what do you think happens next? Because I'm looking at this right now. It's saying that Tehran, a report coming in, that Tehran faces excruciating trade-offs. How much money does it spend on Assad in Syria, on Hezbollah in Lebanon, on Houthis in Yemen, as its middle class is going bankrupt? So what happens next?
Well, I think we're probably going to see some more violence. That's an assumption on my part, but it seems to be fully in the pattern of Iranian behavior. So, I mean, this is an indication that the sanctions actually are taking effect. Cutting off their central bank from the global financial distribution network is going to be profoundly effective. And really the only option the Iranians have are either change their behavior, which they don't seem inclined to do, or to cause more problems to kind of coerce or intimidate the Europeans and other folks to get the United States to pull back. And I don't think the president's going to do that. So we're likely to see more aggressive action by Iran. And I think the United States, the Saudis, and the Europeans really just need to hold firm on this. And then the Iranian people determine whether they want to continue to have an authoritarian regime in charge there in Tehran.
Colonel Wood, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks.